You ever wake up thinking it's going to be a normal day, and then realize someone else trying to destroy your life before you have even had your coffee? That was me standing in my hallway, barefoot, wearing yesterday's t-shirt, staring through a peephole at two strangers in matching uniforms. The letters HOA police were slapped across their chests in bright block print, and the badges on their belts looked like something you'd win at a carnival. And right behind them, grinning like the devil on vacation, was Karen. Now, when I first moved here, I thought this was just another quiet suburban neighborhood, perfect lawns, polite nods, the occasional barbecue smell drifting over the fence. But Karen was the self-appointed queen of the block, the type who memorizes everyone's license plate numbers, keeps a clipboard of violations, and makes sure you know she's watching. She didn't just want rules followed, she wanted control. And that morning she'd brought backup. The pounding on my door rattled my windows. I was still half asleep, heart pounding like I'd just been dropped into a nightmare. I shuffled to the door and peeked through the peephole. Two strangers, matching uniforms, fake badges, and Karen, smirking over their shoulders like she'd just won something. I cracked the door. "Can I help you?" The taller one, a guy with a jaw like he was trying out for a toothpaste commercial, stepped forward. "We're here on official business," he said. "Your property has multiple violations. We need to inspect your garage." My brain stalled for a second. Violations? My garage, the shorter one, a woman with eyes so narrow they looked like they could slice paper, snapped. "Don't make this harder. We have authority from the HOA. Now, here's the thing. When you're FBI, your training kicks in even before your coffee does. No warrant, no real ID, no mention of actual police. Just two people playing dress-up." "Calmly," I said. "I'm an FBI agent. If you have real cause, show me real paperwork." The tall one smirked. "Being FBI doesn't mean you get to break neighborhood codes." That's when I saw Karen step forward, chin high. "Oh, I'm just making sure the rules are followed," she said, in that syrupy voice that always sounded one octave away from pure malice. "You can't claim special treatment because of your job." They claimed they'd had reports of strange activity in my garage. Karen shrugged and said she'd heard noises late at night. Hazardous materials, suspicious activity. Maybe I was plotting something. I wanted to laugh in her face, but I could feel my anger simmering. "That's nonsense," I told her. "If there's a real problem, I'll cooperate. But this," I gestured to the uniforms, "is harassment." The tall guy pulled out a sheet of paper. It had no seal, no signature, just a typed statement saying I was under investigation by the HOA police. "That's not an official document," I said. "You have no right to enter my home." Karen's lips curled. "I can add your refusal to the list of violations." At this point, I wasn't just annoyed, I was wary. Something about the way they pushed, the way they stood on my porch like they owned it. "This wasn't about lawn care," I told them. "Unless you come back with real law enforcement and a valid warrant, you're not entering." The guy stepped forward. "Don't test us." I crossed my arms. "If you try to come in here, you'll be facing charges." Right then, my phone buzzed. It was my boss. "Get to the office right now," he said, voice tight. "We have a problem." I stepped back inside, shutting the door halfway. "I have to go," I told them. "If you leave, we'll mark you as uncooperative," the woman warned. Karen leaned in. "You want your neighbors to see you run away." I ignored them, grabbed my keys, and got into my car. But as I drove away, I spotted a fake cruiser parked at the end of my street. Lights off, watching. When I got to the FBI field office, my boss was waiting. "Local authorities are complaining about your threatening behavior," he said. I told him the whole story, how the badges were fake, how Karen was behind it, but he shook his head. "There's paperwork claiming you resisted a lawful inspection. Higher-ups aren't happy." My stomach dropped. Karen had moved faster than I expected. Before the day was over, I got a text from a blocked number. "Better watch your step, we know who you are." In the days that followed, Karen's fake police kept circling the neighborhood. A neighbor named Tamara came to me in tears with a bogus fine for unapproved paint colors. "She's scaring people." I told Alvarez, a local cop I trusted. He agreed to run the plates on their cruiser. The result? A private security company with no contract with our HOA. Illegal. But Alvarez said without other neighbors stepping up, it was my word against hers. Meanwhile, my FBI supervisors were getting more reports about my conflicts with local authorities. The trap was tightening. Then came the meeting that almost ended me. A panel of FBI higher-ups, a thick file of complaints, and then Karen walked in a suit carrying a briefcase. Turns out her uncle was the deputy director of the FBI. Suddenly, all her fast-track complaints, the HOA shutdown, the neighbor silence, it all made sense. She had protection at the highest level. But then came my shot. A note appeared in my mailbox. "Meeting tonight, community center." I knew it could be a trap, but it was also a chance to expose her in front of everyone. I went, with a recorder in my jacket. Karen stood at the podium, spinning lies about keeping the community safe, and volunteer police. I stood up. "Those aren't police. They're unlicensed, unauthorized, and working for a private company with no contract here." Gasps, whispers. A neighbor grabbed one of her citations, no seal, no signature. Fake Alvarez stepped in, announced an investigation, and walked her out in cuffs. Her uncle quietly resigned within weeks. The fake HOA police vanished overnight. The security company faced charges. My name was cleared, my career saved. The neighborhood went back to being normal. Just lawns, kids on bikes, weekend barbecues. Karen's little empire crumbled. And me, I learned that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is not a criminal with a weapon, it is the smiling neighbor next door who thinks the rules are hers to make.